And we are live on what I believe is going to be Terrorisk episode 44. Because if I recall, I think we just did 42. And yeah, hold on, let me just turn that off.
So
how are you doing tonight, Chris?
I'm doing well, Chris. Thank you. But you should probably have someone like keep an eye on that, like the order of episodes.
Oh, yeah. I guess it hasn't been that big of a deal because it's the only problems is like usually comes in it comes around like in the beginning of the month because honestly I don't like being on the hook for podcast episodes every fucking week. What I would like to do, I prefer to just like knock them out in like one area of the month so I get the rest of the month to just like edit and just release the content instead of like scheduling shit.
Oh no, sure. I mean, because you have a job besides that.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's a lot easier to be a content creator when you start making money and you quit your regular job. And like every Monday, I do a review of this.
My God.
Every Thursday is movie night. Every Friday is Marvel movie bonanza night.
That sounds like hell. I would not want that. I don't know. No, it's honestly at this point the podcast primarily in my life functions as an excuse to hang out with friends, meet up. It's basically my tool for being social because, let's face it, if I didn't have this podcast, I would probably be way more of a shut-in. I mean, I would still go out every once in a while on the weekends and get fucked up, but I think, like, the podcast is, it allows me to connect with my old friends in the most productive way. I mean, outside of podcasting or, like, stuff I do with media, I'll go to, like, sword class, but it's not like I do that with old friends, that I've known for years. This is kind of like a way for me to do that. So I guess it's kind of like it's therapeutic. It's cathartic, I should say. It's been a cathartic force in my life. So
I can understand that.
Yeah, that's why I'm keeping it going. It's just interesting, the whole process of producing one of these things, editing, getting like material together from the audio to the video, stacking, mixing, and all that shit. It's definitely a process. And I think from doing the podcast, I'm able to do like other stuff now. Like I showed you with those like stupid jam videos with the stuff, the music stuff. Yeah. So I've been doing that, and that stuff is a lot easier. I personally don't know too many people who could like do that shit. With basically like overlapping skill sets, and then you get like a project out, not just like a song, or not just like a track, and not just like a video. You get like a whole experience thing out.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of keep doing this, even though there's really no money involved at all. Like I'm not seeing a fucking cent from it. It's
not a cent. The fees that the FCC podcasting internet fees that he has to pay for this is.
Well, luckily it's not. It's like it's all negligible overhead because it's all money I would have probably spent anyway on like doing just doing music. So that's cool.
But so you're saying more money would be nice, or money would be nice.
Of course, money would be nice. I just can't imagine anyone actually like paying money for the podcast. Maybe music. Maybe that's what I'm hoping for. That'll be the ideal. But that's it. It's probably gonna end up where like way more people care about this podcast than they'll ever care about my music, and that's gonna be like a whole thing to contend with psychologically in and of itself. But whatever. I'm in it for the ride. I'm in it for the journey.
Well, that's good because talking is all I have to contribute.
Oh yeah. Nah. You got a job, right?
Yeah, I meant in terms of this. I don't mean in general. Like, I contribute nothing to society.
Oh my God, no. I mean seriously. You should. I could teach you how to edit if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, seriously, I could teach you how to edit. The audio stuff we don't have to really worry about because that's this whole thing. But I could show you like the very basics of editing video, and then you'll figure it out from there. You use DaVinci Resolve?
Shit, I remember what I used. I tried Adobe. I hated that. There's something else I used. I have to check my computer, but I don't remember. The last time I did was like months ago, maybe almost a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. That's cool. Fucking. Yeah, I could teach you how to edit. We should get you on DaVinci Resolve because it's free. And it's very it's comprehensive enough to get at least like a podcast out, and just your basic form like video content. Nothing like Spielberg worthy work.
Oh no, like Adobe or like Wondershare, where like that's the thing because like this isn't anything too crazily complicated. I don't need so many options, and that's what makes it very overwhelming.
Yeah.
So yeah, the simpler, the more streamlined, the better.
True.
The freer, the better too.
Another cool part about the podcast is it's long form content. Each episode's like an hour and a half. Mm-hmm. That's that's about like the same amount of time as a movie. So it's like I'm like pumping out like movies worth of time like in blocks of content, which is like pretty cool to think about. I feel like as a pusher, I'm not small time. I'm not like a pusher of like little baggies. Like I'm moving weight here.
You're not Christopher Nick or Nickelback Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Dubs.
I'm pumping out real weight here consistently.
They call him the Korean. He can get you large quantities, whatever you need.
Yeah.
You want content? How many hours?
Honestly,
how many days? How many terabytes?
Oh my god. What it was upsetting kind of. Well, it wasn't upsetting. It was actually just more funny than anything. No one's ever really like reacted too much to like the actual podcast content until I posted that video of me and Brendan having that little spat, and everyone was like really receptive to that. That's what people want. They want that kind of.
They want people on conflict.
Yeah. Because when there's conflict presented on screen, they get to like choose sides.
Well, yeah, that's what people want. They want to feel like they also want to feel right about something too. They want to see someone else get heated.
Well, it's also like
they like feeling superior to other people.
It's also like cathartic because it's one of those things like you argue for, but no one ever really says out loud or agrees with you out loud, and then all of a sudden you hear it from your favorite podcast. You're like, haha, see, yeah, I'm not the only one.
Someone thinks like me.
I'm not the only one.
He's got it.
He gets it. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, except in that particular example, though, Brendan was in the unfortunate seat of like trying to defend a losing position.
There's always one.
Yeah,
you gotta do what you gotta do.
But again, it's like I go back into like how debates would work and stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah. I mean, there were plenty of holes in my argument that you could have taken on. You could have easily just been like, oh, I just don't like seafood. Who fucking cares? Big fucking deal. But you actually, like, he made the fatal error of going ahead and defending his, like, it's basically like overkill. And then you leave yourself exposed. It just reminded me a lot of, like, debate club tactics.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, you just, like, once you, like, you have to explain your position. Like, you have to explain why you don't like this, or like what reasons like you wouldn't like it for.
Yeah.
Other than just like you can't just say, "Oh, it's bad."
Well,
like all of it.
See, that's the problem with having like a position at all. Because if you hold a strong position, there's going to be holes in your position no matter what. That's just the way the truth works. No one's going to have the truth is not going to serve anyone perfectly 100%. There's always going to be a way where that core truth will betray your argument. You just got to pray the other side doesn't find out or doesn't like realize it, But that's the case. You could literally make the case for any argument. That's why the primary tactic is you don't argue against their point, you let them argue against themselves. And that's really like it goes back to basic philosophy 101. Like that's how the dialectic method works. Like you basically you ask a question and and then I answer that question with basically a question instead of just outright saying, oh no, that's correct or that's wrong. What you really want to do is like respond with a deeper question to further dissect the concept.
Sure, you want to expand on it. You don't want to give it an ending right then and there. Like, oh, this is it. Now you know this. You don't have to look into this at all.
Well, like for example, the seafood is like, is seafood good or is seafood bad? Well, first let's define
what seafood is. It everything in the ocean?
Yeah, that's.
Is it shellfish? Is it fish? Is it like what's seafood? Like
yeah, that's
all of that?
That's the material factor, which is actually not. That's not what I would go for. What I would go for,
coral.
if you really want to break that question down, you could easily just fuck everything up and be like, all right, well then define good. What is good? What is bad? And then they'll
good for me.
No, they'll name things that are good, and then it's like you're naming things that are good to you, but you're not actually defining what goodness in and of itself as a core concept really is. Nobody can. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows what the meaning of good or virtue really is. They could just like if I ask a person like
you should feel good.
Like what is exactly? That's not a fucking definition. Like like what is good? It's like, oh,
I like it.
Yeah, exactly.
What's
like,
good? I like it.
Like courage, kindness. It's like, okay, but that's not those things are good, yeah, but that's not defining what good is. That means a shitload of things could be good. Who says murder can't be good? Why? Because it makes you feel bad. What if it makes me feel good? Like, so that's if you really want to fuck that argument up, you could easily just like shut it all down by saying like, all right, what's good? Define bad, define good, but let's define our terms here. And that's how you like, I guess, really debate on like a somewhat of a intellectual footing. Like, otherwise you're just gonna like be run by your biases and your fucking emotions, and then you're gonna get fucked. You're gonna look like an idiot. Like, and it's just basics. Like,
oh no, I agree, but that's the problem. Too many people think that their interpretation of reality is it, the end all and be all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not open to other ways of life, other suggestions.
Which is why everyone needs that kind of shock of like debating the wrong person.
You have to be challenged.
Yeah, you need to know what it feels like to just be like straight up proven wrong. Like by another person's like fucking opposing idea, not just like nature.
Yeah.
Because that's like a really good wake up call, and then you start like really thinking about like, well, what makes a person right and what makes a person wrong? It's not even the argument; it's how they go about presenting it. It's how they engage with another person's argument. That's really what it all boils down to.
Well, it's also saying like it's just like the same thing with like what's good and what's bad, like what's right and what's wrong. Like if you believe something's right, then it's right for you.
Yeah.
Like what's right? Who decides what right is? That's what you think. It's what.
But this is all very. It's not just like, it's not something that we could just write off as like, oh, whatever. It's personal preference. It's not, because entire systems of law and legislation are built.
Well, that's society. Society is built on an agreement that.
These are good. This is good.
Okay.
This is what good.
This is gonna hurt. This is gonna fuck everything up. Don't do this.
This is good. This is bad. This is good. We all agree this is bad.
That's what society is, agreeing on certain rules and things.
But society does not ever concern itself with really defining what good is, because they know they can't. Society knows it cannot fully actually define like at the core what good is. If anything, it's just
it's the majority or whoever the loudest is, or whoever's got the most money that really decides what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad. And society does change over time, so it's never one strict thing.
Yeah, but like if you really do like argue with someone who really knows their shit, and they could fuck you up right back. If you ask them, it's like, oh, what is good and what is bad, then they could easily just come up with like a really well thought out like contextual definition that actually applies to that argument, and they could establish that. So even that could like work against you if you're not careful. Mm-hmm. So like that's not like an end all be all like aha kind of like whatever. It's still got its own like it's still got its own weaknesses. So like there's a couple of ways to tackle it. But what you don't do is you go and try to make like fucking defending from like a very generalized perspective, where you start using these like just analogies that just don't hold up, and that's when just things fall apart for you.
Someone just told me like kind of a story the other day. Like he's a teacher. He told me like this interaction he had with a kid where a kid completely missed like the point. Like he was trying to like trip him up on something, and he gave him an example of whatever point was he was trying to prove, and the kid just goes, "Well, why would I even do that?" And he's like, "That's not what I'm saying." He's like, "You're asking me, is it okay to do this in this situation?"
Yeah.
I'm gonna blank on the story.
Oh. So a kid was being challenged or something like.
No, he was trying to trip up his teacher about something, and his teacher just gave an example, whatever, not telling him like bringing him one side of anything. Like, oh, I remember now. So the kid asked him, he's like, is it wrong to give to charity? Is it wrong to give somebody something if you know that they're bad or something? Ah, fuck, I fucked it up.
All right. Yeah, no, there's plenty of stupid fucking moral conundrums. We could all agree that stealing is wrong. Nobody wants to be, stolen from.
Yeah, but I mean, well, yes, but
there's certain situations where
if you're hungry and you take food, is that stealing?
Obviously, yes, but
it's like that's surviving.
But I think it's justified stealing.
That's justified. You are still stealing. If you take something that's not yours,
it's stealing, but it's justified.
In mind,
it's justified because I personally think it's justified because I would steal to survive. I would.
That's human nature, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's like kiddie shit, though. There's the bigger stupid fucking ones that like people love to argue about, but it's just so pointless too. Like the whole question about abortion. Like, are you really like taking a human life or not? Like when you abort a fetus, is it really like?
Well, right. The argument is like, well, when does life begin? Heartbeat, consciousness, when the soul is made, when the semen enters the egg.
Exactly. So it's like but it's a stupid argument because
It's a very stupid argument.
Because my position is like, I'm always like, you know, let's say it was like a living thing. It's still justified homicide at that point to me because I look at it like this. Like, imagine you're like a Republican and you have a gun, like a shotgun for home defense, and some person breaks into your home and starts like stealing your shit and messes everything up. Wouldn't you want to fucking shoot them, like end them?
Yeah, it's not the same as abortion.
What?
That's justifiable homicide, you're saying.
That's like basically the same thing.
Someone stealing your shit, I don't think warrants murdering them with intent.
No,
like,
I'm saying.
If you shoot someone,
So you don't believe in the right to like defend your home if you had a gun, you don't believe in the right to use that on a home intruder under any circumstance?
I don't imagine having serious home intruders. Like, I don't have a lot of property. I don't have really valuables per se.
Okay. But if you did,
I'm not naive. Like, I know if I got robbed,
you'd shoot
I'll
them.
never get my shit back, and the cops I'll never get anything back from it. I'm aware of that, but
well, it's also just the idea of anyone like coming into your domain like without your permission at all. It's like, dude, if I want to remove you, I should be able to remove you.
yes, you should.
By any means necessary, you know? So
But that's part of society. We all agreed, hey, let's not walk in each other's houses and take shit all the time.
okay, yeah. Otherwise, you could end up literally dead, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know...
So the first thing, how did he get there? Why was he there? Did it warrant this?
Well, it doesn't matter how he got there. If you already reserve the right to, like, to smoke this motherfucker, there's really no good justification over doing it to one person. It's anyone... You're reserving the right to smoke them because they're in your property and you want them gone.
What if you're blackout drunk and stumbled into the wrong car or the wrong apartment?
Then you got to be fucking careful. That's literally...
Oh, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
But I'm saying...
It's unfortunate, but...
It's like, oh, shit, well, he shouldn't have been drinking.
It sucks, but yeah, that person... I mean, most people would be inclined to agree, I think, that you do have the right to shoot that fucking person who comes into your place.
But by that logic, I don't know, like...
It's unfortunate and sad,
like, well, you shouldn't have bought all that shit and put it in your house. That's why you got robbed. What was
that doesn't, I think, hold up as well because, like, no one... Like, you weren't doing anything. You were just sitting in your home with your shit in your home, and someone who you don't know came in. You want them gone. For whatever reason, they didn't comply or you didn't trust that they would comply. They're in your home without your permission. So, yeah, shoot them. Like,
or are they violent?
Doesn't matter, though. They could be.
It matters.
Would you really run that risk if they're already in your home? Like,
don't you think it's harder if someone just walks into your house and goes, I'm not leaving, rather than someone, like, breaking your shit and, like, openly threatening you?
What do you mean? Like, if they already had a gun pointed at me or something?
No, like, not a gun. Like, someone just being, like, really aggressive. Like, they're in your house, they're breaking your shit.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, yo, leave. And they're like, no, I'm not leaving. And, like, they're not there. And, like, they're, fuck you, I'm not leaving. And
okay,
so... now you're like, this guy's an asshole.
No, this is when you're like, I want you to get out of my house. I'm going to come back in 5 seconds. And when I come back, I'm going to have a gun. If you're here, if you're still here by the time I come back, I'm going to shoot you.
Is that a legal binding contract?
What do you mean? I think it's just a warning, like, get the fuck off my property before I fucking end you.
But just because you say, like, I'm going to do this in 5 seconds, that's enough? What if it took him more than that to think about it? What if he wasn't sure?
Well, you better hightail it out of there.
What if he has? What if he's running from something?
It's not the homeowner. It's really not the host's problem at that point. They're just dealing with this parasite, you know, regardless of how it got there, why it's there. They're just now dealing with a force they want gone. And you have a right to, like, exercise anyone from your life if you just want them the fuck out. And if they don't comply, then yeah, shoot them. So this goes back to abortion. It's the same shit. You know, you got this like weird, external. No, it's not. It's pretty simple. And you know what? It's even more intimate than your home. It's your fucking body. So yeah, I think you should be able to waste the stranger human that entered your body.
Oh well, no, I am agreeing with abortion. It's just
exactly that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
of course. But
the same thing. That's what I see. I like to tell
that. Like, oh, you're on both sides.
No, that's what I like to tell Republicans. It's like, well, do you believe in the right to own a gun and like shoot people that intrude on your home? Yeah. All right. So then like the abortion's like really not that different. You know, like
yeah.
So that's my take.
It's not that different.
See, now it's like coming together, and you say, oh, there's the funny. Like, like I see it now. Like, okay.
No, I've noticed that with some. Okay, with the block of people that are considered conservative voters at least, and the block of people that are considered liberals, like they have very conflicting interests, and like their interests for them on both sides, but they get so like just heated with one another, like it's red or blue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or like, if you're right, I'm wrong, and I can't be wrong, so you must be wrong.
Well, we're talking. All right, so we're just going by like aesthetics aside. Trends.
Babies are cuter than people who rob people. I don't know what the point of that is.
All right, no, it was funny. You mentioned something about conservatives.
Yeah.
What were you saying about conservatives?
Oh, that like the block of people that are typically like that, like they all have like conflicting interests, like between like they have interests on both sides, but because they're on this side, like, well, I have to ignore that. So like you're saying, like abortion and the right to own a gun and defend your home and open carry and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. They seem like they shouldn't, like you're making the same argument on different sides.
Well, like, I mean, the way a conservative would handle that, like they would just turn around and be like, well, it's different with abortion because the fetus is a child, it's a baby, it's a it's an innocent fucking whatever, it's a little infant in the making, and like,
and shouldn't you spare it this?
But that's just what they would carry for themselves in terms of their like moral fiber, but. You can't use that logically. That's not a logical. It's not a logical thing to like argue with. It's like, oh, really? So you think we should preserve the babies that are not even born yet? Meanwhile, there's like hundreds and millions of babies in our. There's always that shit like that are suffering to this day that are actually born in this world and like need your help more than these fucking fetuses. So yeah, that's never a good one. But yeah, like it's not. Yeah, you could say like on a surface level, oh, it contradicts each other. But they could easily, even though it's not right. It's
about how they they'll defend.
They rationalize it in their own way.
They'll defend what's something that is lifeless and give it that right, what they see like to live. But then once a baby is born, they don't care about it after.
Yeah,
like it's like, all right, you're on your own. It's your fault that you were born under these circumstances.
Well, that's the fallacy in their position. Like, so even if that's why they never use. That's why, and no smart conservative would ever use that. Every smart conservative would use my argument. If anything, they're just like, they would be like, oh, so if you liberals are against guns, like.
No, exactly. Well, that's the
because like it could go the other way around. It's like, oh, you're against us owning guns. Well, what about you and your abortion? Yeah. Like, don't you think your right's the same thing? At least I'm wasting adults. You're just wasting, So it's like, yeah, you could easily. It
could have cured cancer.
It's a versatile tool. It's a versatile argument. Like, I like it. But yeah, fucking abortion, everybody. It's good stuff. I mean,
we're fans.
Oh man. But I definitely want a gun now that it's going to become like way easier to get in New York City.
If I had a nice house upstate in the Poconos,
I just want it because
Vermont,
I just want it like because I want to like treat it like a toy, like point it at my friends and shit as a joke.
I would never speak to you again. Right? I would never speak to you again. That is not
okay. We're like tossing it up in the air. It's like, wait, yours is unloaded, right? And I'm like, come on, that's no fun. Like,
see, what I would do is, although like I would only hang out with you if I came over. Before I walk in the apartment, you have your gun, all the bullets, empty chamber, everything's out on the table. You walk out, I walk in, I inspect it.
Okay.
And then we'll just throw the gun back and forth.
Okay.
See, that I would do in front of people. Get a gun, make sure it's empty, but like just.
You ever do that shit?
Purposely irresponsible with it.
You ever do that shit with a bow and arrow? You just huddle in his air and then you shoot in the air.
The chosen ones. That's all I'm gonna say. That was like Lord of the Flies right there. We're deciding life or death. We all agreed like.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, but it's really fucking stupid. But like, if anyone that was there like bitched out like super early, didn't do it at all, like to this day, I would mock them for it, even though they made the smarter decision.
Wow, Mike was fucking trashed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did he just drink a lot, or has his tolerance been lower or something?
No, he told me he had some beer. It was like 10%. He had like 6 of them.
So he just drinks a lot. That's really it.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's what happened. He drank a lot, and then I think he just also drank a lot in a very short period of time.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's hard to tell these days because I think I definitely drink more, but I don't get like wasted.
I mean, you drink more than you used to?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure.
But I definitely feel my tolerance getting higher. And you know what? It's so fucked up. First of all, I don't want to drink this much. But it just it happens socially. And I explain this to people. It's like, well, why don't you just hang out with like different people? And I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's not like that. It's not even stuff like just like hanging out. It's like, yeah, I'll have drinks when I hang out, but that's just me hanging out. But the thing is, like, I'll go to like sword class like 2 to 3 days a week, and at the end of every sword class, there's always like, we always just get drunk. That's just what we do. It's like, it's almost tradition at that point. That's that's just sword class.
It's a bonding thing. I mean.
So then, and let's say I do the podcast with someone, even you. Like, if I'm doing the podcast with one of my boys, we're gonna get some drinks in. We're gonna drink and get a little silly, and because it's a part of the process. So I'll do that at least like once or twice a week. What else? There's also making music, and every time I make music, I'm gonna be doing some fucking drinking because it's like you're with another musician, you're collabing, you're just getting the creative juices flowing. So unless you're gonna be like dullards or former like addicts, then just fucking you'll have a couple of drinks. So it's not even like I'm actually actively seeking out like alcohol every fucking day. It's just if I'm doing something, chances are like there's going to be some drinks involved.
Most things go better with alcohol.
Yeah,
and it's not like getting shit faced. Just things go better with drinking.
And I know, but at least I could tell that I'm making like somewhat good decisions because the days where I have off, like where I don't have anything to do, like with the sword classes or the podcasting or the music or hanging out even, then I just won't drink. I'm like, I can't drink today because like it would just be so bad. Like I don't want to end up as in that position where you get the shakes if you don't drink.
No, that's what my uncle told me. He was an alcoholic, and he said
the shakes are bad. Yeah.
No, it wasn't even about the shakes. He was like the thing with alcohol is like, you don't like, because it's so acceptable and it's easy, you don't like realize you have a problem until like it's like every 2-3 days you drink, and then it turns into 4 days, 5 days, and like all of a sudden you don't realize you're drinking every day for
a whole month. Yep.
Yeah.
I did that. I've done that.
And then it's like, oh, I want to stop doing this, and then you can't just stop drinking if you're an actual alcoholic.
Also, it's like
die.
because there's also there's a social element. Like there's literally like, you try to stop drinking, and then the next day it's like, oh yeah, I was supposed to go see my dad, and then dad's like, you want a beer before whatever dinner or something, and you're like, yeah, sure, because like what are you gonna say no to that? You're gonna talk to your dad sober for hours? It's like, no, I'm gonna have a couple of drinks,
Not my family, not my ancestors.
So I also, that's another thing. I go see my dad, and we have a couple of fucking drinks, a couple of glasses of scotch, more than a couple, I'd say.
How old's your dad again?
My dad?
Yeah.
He's 21 years older than me. So right.
So is my dad. All right, my dad's the same age, but he can't drink like he used to. It's. And like I told him like once or twice, I'm like, don't keep up with me, please. It's fine. Like just don't.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I can still do it. He's like, I just don't do it a lot anymore, and then.
I think our dads would probably get along. My dad's
very straight-laced. He's a cop.
My dad's friends with a lot of cops because he works. He manages a lot of like Manhattan delis, like the gourmet delis with the salad bars and everything.
Oh well, naturally, yeah.
So he would know a shit ton of cops because like every store he worked at, there was always like like beat cops around or the dudes that work at the closest precinct that just stop by for lunch every fucking day. And my dad, if there's one thing that he may not have worked for like the most craziest delis, but he knew good food. So it's like if you're a cop or a construction worker, you're gonna stop by there because it's easy, it's affordable, fast. My dad's like been in the game for a long time, so it's not like getting a no sandwich from no fucking bodega or some fucking Staten Island deli, like No, look, you know what I mean. Like,
there's a reason why I know where to get a bagel, where to get a good bagel, and where to get like donuts, which is something I don't eat.
All right,
because of my dad.
But you ever like? All right, it's like when you walk into some of these Manhattan delis, it's like borderline like a little grocery.
I know it's
It's almost like they have a food court, because like they'll have like if you go to this deli,
a lot of shit, a lot of options.
They'll have all the deli shit, they'll have all the snacks, but then
salad bar sometimes.
Then they have the salad bar, and they have multiple grills. They have different sections, one for like Japanese food, one for like Thai food, one for Mexican food,
depending on the neighborhood.
I'm talking about a Manhattan deli, like a real deal, like fucking Manhattan gourmet deli. And I don't know, that shit was okay. Yo, do you believe that like that New York City is getting depleted of residents, that people are like moving out?
Well, during the pandemic they did.
Yeah.
And
but there's all this stuff saying like there's this theory crafting that that all the articles saying, "Oh, New York residents are flooding back and like apartments are getting filled."
I'm pretty full of shit.
Bullshit.
Like, yeah,
It was. They found out it was absolute horseshit.
yeah.
What apartment owners were doing, where they were like literally not listing some of their properties, like
Yeah.
apartments, just so that they
Yeah,
could
yeah.
keep the prices, because it would have been fucked up for them if they had to like artificially pad out the fucking value.
Yeah, of course, because then you can't judge based on the rent in the neighborhood if the rent in the neighborhood's already stable, and you can't justify raising it by any means.
Yep.
So yeah,
So-
and like shit, like if you own a building in Manhattan or like good areas of Brooklyn or Queens, like having one like apartment not full for a year would probably fuck you if you're like an individual like owner.
Yeah. So you just don't list it. So
Yeah.
you just seal it off. It's like, oh, this
Yeah.
is not even a fun. It's like it's not
But
even.
New Yorkers doesn't want they don't want independent landlords anymore.
Yeah.
They want like big companies to manage several buildings and just let them do it themselves and pay the high ass taxes that they want for it.
The China method.
Well, China they pay cash.
What, for renters? You mean?
Yeah,
They pay in social credit.
social credit.
You don't know how the social credit system works in China?
No, I don't.
I don't know how real it is, but apparently, like, you get like a social credit system. Say like you get known for doing like disrupting you get like a couple of disorderly conduct charges. Your social credit score takes a hit. If your social credit score takes a hit, suddenly you get barred from certain things. Like, maybe it could start with like the fast lane at a hospital or something. Or like public transportation dibs on seats and shit. Like, yeah, it's a little commie. I'm not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie, I'm intrigued, but
It's fucked up. I'm totally 100% against that shit.
I'm intrigued, but
Because
the
because
Chinese government would not be the government I would want to be.
That's what
running
I'm saying. The
that.
people are not in control of that
Yeah,
system.
that could never work. Yeah, someone has to run it, either a private entity or the state.
And I don't trust either. Like,
No, you don't. You have to just go by your word.
Yeah.
I assure you, my social score is in the 800s right now.
So a lot of people are freaking out. And I was like, if you think about it, it's not that different from our credit score, really. Like,
No, we're in a capitalist society. What determines our value is our ability to accrue debt
and pay it off. Yeah.
with interest.
Yes,
to
sir.
Make money.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, and the social credit would be that's what they value.
Yep.
Your worth to society in like terms of how you
Interact with
yeah.
people and inspire people. I just think it's a terrible, horrible idea. Like the monetary credit system barely works. What the fuck makes you think adding a whole layer of like human morality is gonna like make it any less chaos? It's gonna make it worse. Like, holy shit, it's a disaster. I bet.
That's why the government wants more fucking more assholes who.
First of all, it's only going to work in a society where everyone looks alike. You can't have that in a place like America.
Why?
Just homogenized societies just tend to agree on standards of like goodness.
Oh, and because of the diverse nature of Americans, like
Yeah.
yeah, I understand. That'll work for the South when they secede again.
Or
Or are we
the
seceding?
Southerners?
Yeah, someone's seceding.
You think so?
No, that dumb bitch mentioned it. Marjorie Taylor Greene. But I saw it in a headline, like who was probably taken out of context because, I mean, then again, it's a very eye-catching statement anyway. So
Well, it makes sense.
could have said it. What it makes? Well, that's the thing. Secession, it kind of makes sense.
Look, let's
the
not
way
call
they wrote things.
You don't have to call it secession. You could call it something else. You could call it like balkanization. Where America gets divided up into territories. And it's probably not even going to be North and South. It'll probably be like
No. I've seen this and I actually agree with this. There should be another layer of like categorizing areas of the U.S.
states and the federal government. Yeah,
between the two, yeah, we've
there
done
has
this.
to
We've
be
talked-
with
I-
actual territories or something.
Yeah, like there's economists who have like kind of like worked this out and would make the most sense. It'd be like, I think it'd be split up into 6 different ones.
Yeah.
And it's based on, cultural similarities.
Basically,
and,
what you're adding is just another group of leaders. Like
Yeah,
between the
like-
governors and the federal branch, there's going to be like regional representatives or some shit.
yes. and then we could be like, all right, you know what, like in the Northeast, most Northeast states, we're all relatively like have the same views on things.
Yeah.
Like we have the same type of lifestyle. We're from this area, so like we're from like highly urbanized areas. So like naturally, we're all gonna think a certain way.
Yeah. It's also like, a good argument for it is like it's stupid to assume like someone from Texas is going to have the same cultural sensibilities and the same needs as a person from like fucking like Maine or some shit, you know?
Well, yeah,
it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Different, yeah. That's what I mean. Like, nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't understand people who live in the middle of the country. They have a completely different fucking way of life than I do. Like, we just don't. None of us grew up the same, and they see things differently, and that's fine.
But I did like
and it would make more sense if they could. A group of them could just govern themselves instead of each, like all of us, imposing our different like.
But I did really like the idea where, you know, like I could go out to some bumfuck state, you know, like in the middle of America, and they could be like totally different from me in way of life. But you know, I liked that. At least you could look at that person and say, "Hey, listen, I'm American. I'm just like you. You know, I bleed red, white, and blue." Like,
but I mean, do we bleed red, white, and blue?
I like to think so. I like to believe I fucking love this country. You know, like, honestly, like, yeah, there's a lot of problems with this country, and I certainly have problems with people from other states, particularly like New Jersey or some shit, you know, like, but fucking at the end of the day, like, I like to think that I do like America. I do. I'm a fan. I'm not a nationalist, but I'm definitely a fan of what we got going on here.
I agree. Like, it's not, I'm here, like, it could be worse.
Yeah, America's sick, and also like economically,
yes, it's the most stable. Is it a perfect system? Absolutely not. But
it's the least drunk driver on the road.
Yeah, essentially.
So I like America. I think America's cool.
I know America.
I think I have a way better chance of making money in America than any other fucking country. To be honest,
100%.
That's always nice. I like not having censored internet.
That's also very nice.
Yeah. That's also nice. I don't have to get a fucking VPN just to watch my favorite Netflix shows. Let's see what else. I like that we have an entertaining government sometimes. Like fucking we have like the president's son smoking crack in like, you know, public videos and shit.
All right, we make good TV.
Yeah.
It's Americans, like we make good TV.
Yeah. Also, like, American government is like way less pathetic than the UK government.
Yes.
Have you ever seen like
British Parliament?
Yeah, they're
they're yelling at each other.
It's like shit.
Oh,
I
love
what
it.
The
it's a shit show. It's great. I love it.
Yo,
it's like watching like wrestling or something.
Yo, I have this one British friend online. We talk about it all the time. He's like, yeah, it's actually like really shameful. Like it's embarrassing. I was like, it's you know, I play it up like it's pretty entertaining though, and he's like, yeah, you know, like,
it's good shit.
And where was this party? And then they're like,
I watch it. It's good shit. It's fun to watch because also like they could be talking about it too could be completely critical to like the lives of like hundreds of thousands of people.
And then people
in
are
the
just
UK. We're like, this shit doesn't hurt us. I like the guys who yell. But that's why our Congress is so much more polite. You know, when it's your turn to speak, it's like the good senator from the good state of like Oklahoma has the floor. Thank you. The senator of the good state of Oklahoma would like to recognize the senator of the great state of Alabama. Thank you. Like it's.
We have made great
strides. We have filibusters. Like if you keep talking, I can't stop you. That has to be a direct contrast to British Parliament. Like, you know what? We're gonna do what they did better and classier. You want to talk? Keep talking. It's fine. We don't have to get anything done as long as nobody yells at each other.
And as long as no one looks bad and no one leaks each other's emails, we're fine.
And no one talks about the secret thing.
And for God's sakes, nobody get photographed in a goddamn bathing suit. If you're a politician, you do not get photographed.
We built you pools in your basements for a reason.
Yep.
You're connected to the underground pool system for a reason.
Yeah. You cannot be photographed in the bathing suit. That's just rule number one as a fucking politician.
What if politicians wore like waterproof suits?
What do you mean?
Well, that's it. Let's say you want to go to the beach, and now your go-between is never being a bathing suit, but
really
being a completely waterproof suit.
Really, that's bullshit. Obama did it. Obama.
It's because Obama looked good doing it. That's why.
Yo, if you had 5 minutes with the president, do you think you can make him laugh?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think you can make Donald Trump laugh.
I could. I just wouldn't be proud of what I say.
You think you can make Donald Trump laugh? I don't think he's
not
ever,
a genuine laugh.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever laughed.
He's not a genuine person.
Have you ever seen Donald Trump laugh?
Well, no. Me and him have nothing in common.
No. I'm literally
I'm
like
just saying. Like I have I ever seen him laugh?
Yeah, you've never.
Oh, like genuinely, like I don't know.
I don't think
But he's all about image. He's smart. He doesn't get caught laughing.
dude.
Someone will put it like they'll paint on the side of one of his buildings. Going, ah, ha, ha.
That's fucking inhuman. You cannot like no, that's not how this works. No, the fact that he's
He's
never
not a person like us.
What?
He's not a person like us. He's not people.
I was saying like maybe he's just so dense he doesn't get jokes. And then someone else was like,
No.
actually, that's not true. He's very good at jokes. He's the best actually. Some would say. You know?
I like that.
He's the best at jokes.
People always say his jokes the best. Good shit.
I think I can make George
You know what?
W.
I would tell him he makes me laugh. That would be it. But dude, you make me laugh.
What about you? Do you get W to laugh?
W?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I would be like, how fast could you do it? W, like that's that motherfucker. He's a perfect example. Like I could have a beer with that guy. I could smoke a joint with that guy. But like that's true. I think you could like anyone could just casually sit with Bush.
I think I could get
Smoke
Barry
a
to
joint.
laugh.
What?
I think I get Barry to laugh.
Barry?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I might be embarrassed. He's really cool. I'd be like,
Nah, I think
him. I'd be like
but
nervous.
that's why I think he would laugh, even if it's not like the most genuine laugh. I bet it would just be like, yeah, exactly. I bet I could at least
Christopher.
Exactly. I bet I could get at least a bemused chuckle. You know, like
Oh yeah,
that counts as a laugh. Like
I'll take a bemused chuckle. For that.
you could say something off the wall, like do you like any TV shows? Like, I just heard The Wire was like the worst show in the world. You would just look at it, you're like, oh. Then he'd just shit all over your life. You'd be like, you fucking idiot. First of all, it's the best show in the world.
I think any president has to be, or at least allow themselves to be, like somewhat self-deprecating. So I think making jokes about them, they would laugh as long as they're not currently president.
I think a president would only make a self-deprecating joke or comment while also simultaneously lifting someone up that would have been strategic for like their first lady. It's like they would just be in a casual room and then they would be like, oh well, I'm retarded, good thing I have my first lady wife with me, my better half, and everyone in the room's like, oh so true, we love you, Madam President. Oh, shut up. Or he would if he felt generous the same night he would make a joke as like, oh of course, my entire presidency would be in shambles without my good friend and vice president, such and such, give him a layup, and then everyone's like, oh yeah, applause, good job, only
because it's like just like that. I heard this before, but I was watching something earlier, and like so Woodrow Wilson's wife, because he was like sick towards the end.
Oh really?
Yeah, well he was like, yeah.
How
I
sick?
forgot.
Was he very sick?
Sick.
He's sick. He's
sick.
fairly sick.
I don't know. He was getting old or whatever. I don't know.
Can I get some
But
soju?
she did a lot of she helped a lot. Like she handled a lot of his work, his papers, his briefings, things like that.
You could say the first lady was basically being the president.
No, they're like, yeah, she was a trusted advisor to him. She deemed what was important. She did more work than any other first lady did, but she never made any actual decisions. She left them up to Woodrow Wilson in the cabinet.
She was just the best supporting character ever.
Yeah. I just felt like a slap in the face. Like she didn't make any decisions though, so don't.
Oh yeah.
They're like she was an asset, but she didn't do anything.
Yeah, she did.
I
Come
know,
on.
I know. I thought you were saying that
she didn't do anything. That's like saying the WNBA doesn't actually do anything.
I would never say that.
Of course, because it's wrong.
Yes, I would never say that. Some people would say that, and that's wrong.
I don't agree with that at all. One bit.
I wouldn't say that.
Those ladies could dunk. Okay, I can't dunk. Shit, some of those ladies could dunk. Can they dunk?
Oh, they're better than me. I couldn't participate in a WNBA.
Is there anyone? I think Griner could dunk. The lady who was recently got released from Russia.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was like one of the very few players in the
Few dunkers.
Yeah.
And Russia locked her.
Yeah, because they were like, "Oh, you want her back?"
Yo, what have you been teaching like their women basketball like this whole time?
What do you mean?
They kidnapped her to teach their women basketball to compete against us in the Olympics.
I mean, there's only so much they could get out of her, Like, I'm dead serious. Like Russia. You think Russia doesn't have good basketball players? Like,
No,
they got like insane talent. Every country does. It's just NBA's got the best of the best. It's the source, It's the source.
Oh yeah.
So it's like no one's gonna compete against that. Like that's never gonna fucking happen.
It's also illegal in the United States to try to compete with the NBA. Oh no, just Major League Baseball, not that.
I mean, if I'm sure, like, of course, there's 100. You know how many players get drafted from overseas into like American pro leagues?
Oh no, yeah. There's there's prospects that have come out of there. There's some great players.
Yeah. They get the little Japa guys from Japan to play baseball. Japanese men, okay, like
all right,
talented Japanese athletes.
Yes,
to play in the Major League Baseball.
It's the NPB, which is Nippon Professional Baseball. They are like.
Oh, you follow Nippon Professional Baseball?
No, fucking Korean baseball is actually a lot of fucking fun though to watch.
You know what's funny? Okay, so there's like when it comes to like specific like athletics,
very heated too.
Between Korea and Japan. So Japan has kendo. That's just their thing. You know what kendo is, right? The kind of Japanese fencing with the bamboo swords, and they wear and they scream. Yeah, it's Japanese fencing pretty much. Mm-hmm. Korea is all about it, and they go hard. Like if you look at Korean kendo, they got their own schools, and it's like very intense, very intense. But it's almost like they got a chip on their shoulder. I imagine baseball is like very similar. It's like they just wanna one up Japan like they did with the cars and the cell phones. Now they're going after the baseball.
I would say KBO is like it's probably like the third best out of like international leagues. Like even like the first level of the minor leagues before the majors is probably considered better than the KBO. But theirs just more like that's it. I feel like they know they don't have the talent and that money, so it's just more fun to watch.
It's also they're way more about the game, like the game.
Yeah, it's
dynamics.
a game. It's
they're way more about the actual dynamics because. Like if you look at like
and there's more offense too. So.
Yeah, their sports are like that too, like Japanese basketball. There's no way they're gonna ever physically like hold a candle to like even our high school kids, in this country. So it's like they really focus more on like genius plays and shit, and like more on techniques and stuff as opposed to like relying on raw physicality, which is pretty awesome. I love watching that kind of shit because. You're right. It's more dynamic gameplay. Mm-hmm. It's less about like one dude just dominating because he's a freak of nature, and more about like who's got the better teamwork, who's got the better gameplay.
Well, actually, the best baseball player in the world right now is Japanese.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shohei Ohtani. He hits any pitches. Nobody else does that.
Wasn't there recently this one batter? I forgot what game it was, but he was like
Game 7 of the World Series.
He literally just like. I think he was normally a righty batter, and then I think just for entertainment, he switched to lefty and knocked it out. Hit a instant homer, like first try.
Yeah, that could have happened. Maybe that could have happened. I've seen like there is like I've seen just that where like a guy was like an all-star game, so it didn't count, and a guy like pitch came out on him inside from a guy who threw really hard, so he got scared, went to the other side of the plate, but he didn't hit a home run. But there could be a video of that.
Do you have Instagram?
Yeah.
Do you see a lot of like baseball shit come up on your Instagram? It's been happening to me recently. It's kind of annoying, but every time I can't help but think like that was pretty cool.
Well, I follow like pages like that, so.
Oh, okay. So for me, like I just started popping up probably because my fucking phone is listening to me every time I talk about it now. But
oh yeah, like so my computer and my phone, because my Gmail's like my Google's under the same account.
Uh-huh.
I constantly see like ads for shit I sell. So it's not even like I see ads for like cool things. Sometimes I see ads for like mayonnaise and P&G products and soap, and like it's really annoying.
I think it gets the most
shit.
Because
it listens.
Yeah. The algorithm gets the most shit from my YouTube search prompts probably.
Yeah, that too. Like you write like because there's sometimes you can like type one thing into YouTube and it's now part of your. At least for a while, it's part of the algorithm, so it gets suggested to you.
I think it also knows how long you spend watching that kind of content. Like it actually it knows how long you would chill there with the video playing. But it's never a problem for me because I think I use YouTube the right way. Honestly, I think I use it for like an instructional way, whereas a lot of people don't use it correctly.
Oh no, yeah, like it's a huge tool for that. I like using it for that.
Honestly, dude,
I too. Like my recommendations are good. I got a good algorithm.
Oh, yeah.
I have a high algorithm score.
I have a healthy algorithm.
I have a well-rounded.
Yeah. My algorithm's not toxic like some people's. Yo,
that's next.
What?
Algorithm score.
No, it's like, or you could start. I'll just like start like a bullshit grifter's course on how to clean up your algorithm, like how to have a healthy algorithm so it's better for your mind and your everyday productivity.
That'll be like there'll be actual like hackers like. You have to go to a hacker to get your algorithm cleaned up.
Or you just gotta like, do like this introspective process of like switching your habits and changing the kind of things you
Or
actively.
no, you have to fly illegally to Russia to meet with top Russian hackers who do it for a large sum of money off the books.
That's the wrong way to do it. You can't do it like that because the main core problem still remains.
Your algorithm's fucked.
No, it's your habits are fucked. Your habits are what really ultimate. People don't want to admit that. I mean, yes, I agree. This whole algorithm sensitivity is a
Then
little
you get like a hosting for your algorithm. You have someone pretend to be you. And you create a fake identity. So now all your habits are part of the fake identity's algorithm while someone else, a hacker, cleans yours up and keeps it nice and squeaky clean.
No, I get that, and you're right. That could work, but the problem,
work.
but the problem is it has that strategy has a tangible like line of it. This either works or it doesn't. Whereas if you put it on the client, it's left ambiguous if it's working or not. So you could always be like, well, it's
No,
it's
if there's something wrong with me, it's someone else's fault. Or if I keep doing the same thing over and over again, and I know it's bad for me and I won't change, someone else has to do that. I can't do it. Someone else's problem.
Yeah, but you can't. That doesn't sell. You can't sell that.
Oh, you can. Just not the way I said it.
No, listen. You got to sell them on the idea that they could actually change without actually changing because they won't need you anymore. It's like gym memberships. Gym memberships are like literally very predatory if you think about it because ultimately, let's say you get a gym membership and you meet your fitness goal. Are you going to keep fucking paying for that gym subscription? No. If anything, it benefits the gym more if you keep paying and just don't show up. And you just feel bad about yourself, and you're like, well, if I cancel this gym membership, then I've given up at that point.
Well, yeah,
so I'm going to keep paying, but am I actually going to keep going? No. So that's what I'm saying. It's like if you want to sell them the idea that they could change without actually pushing them to do it.
That's the business model of Planet Fitness.
Yeah, it's fucked up. It's a really messed up thing because you're preying on people's like body image and self-esteem at that point. Like,
and like you're
and
telling
makes
like
money.
People make fun of you if not like lifting a lot. Like we're not allowed here. You can't even lift that much. And they serve free. They have free pizza day.
yeah,
bagel day.
Yep. They do. It's a little. Their showers are always mysteriously broken. Like.
They have nice little massage chairs if you just want to come in and sit in a massage chair.
Yeah.
If you're only paying $10 a month.
Yep. Yep. Damn, dude. Good money though. That's good money.
Nah, it's good shit. Yeah, like it's what they're doing. It's not illegal.
No, it's just fucking mean.
Well, yeah, it's just like you dick.
You dick.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's just like you dick.
It's just mean.
I know what you're doing.
It's an awful, 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 awful. But it's it's literally it's a predatory industry, straight up. I acknowledge it as a straight up fucked up predatory industry. Gym subscriptions, subscription based gyms are fucking fucked up. I don't trust them. I really don't.
Well, that's like pretty much all of them. That's the whole gym model, business model.
Yeah. I think like you know what?
Subscriptions.
That's not true.
Subscriptions is like kind of like the goal of everything.
Yeah, it is. I hate
Like
that.
businesses, like just to get people to pay, just a noticeable amount of money
Every month.
every month.
Yeah, for a very necessary service. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you turn a product into a service. That's essentially what you're doing.
yeah, that's the way to go.
It's fucked up. I hate it. Speaking of which, I actually spent like
Stop buying things you need.
I spent literally fucking I think it was $600 or $300. It was some fucking ridiculous amount of money for an older version, like a 2018 version of Adobe Acrobat. Because of that older version, it's you get it once and you install it, and it's not like you pay every single fucking month.
Yeah,
The new Adobe Acrobat, it's a pay as a service. So
Yeah.
you have to like subscribe and pay like a monthly fee just to fucking use it. I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Suck my dick. So I literally went and hunted down like in the backlogs of the Adobe Store website just to find an older version of Adobe Acrobat. So I spent the money on that just so I could have that. I'm not gonna fucking pay like for the whole service like every month. So fuck that.
yeah. My job just they
it's-
had somebody who downloaded who torrented a program, an old Adobe program, and they give it to all their workers, so everyone has Adobe.
I don't trust pirated shit anymore with Adobe. I
don't trust pirated software, pirated programs.
I used to use pirated software, but then after a while, I just became an adult and I started paying for my shit.
I know too. It's like, why should my game not work?
Yeah,
I could pay a little bit for it to work more.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's how it starts. It's on games. You know, you
Yeah.
download the Damon Tools ISO files, and
You
then
gotta
you
be
run it.
invited. It's invitation only.
But then, yeah, after I think it was what really made me push me to buy software was music production, because I was usually producing music off of pirated shit, like pirated Fruity Loops, and then eventually I just bought the shit. I was like, I'm doing this for real, you know. Let's I'm in it for the long haul. I'll admit it. So I just bought it, and I haven't regretted it since.
It's going to use for sure.
Yeah. And I don't mind spending money on games. You know, I just want to build a nice little Steam library of little stupid fun games, you know.
Yeah.
I got some good games.
I got some good games.
But I want
think.
to play more games with friends. That's what I want. But it's like now it's like a lot of my friends like they don't have like gaming PCs. Do you have a gaming PC?
No, it's not. It's not a gaming PC. It's not. It's not. My graphics card's nothing crazy.
You should build one. I mean, after your life settles down, you should
Yeah,
build
yeah.
one.
That's my intent.
Let's get a little project going. And it's going to be cheap too. Especially if you just need it to run like, yeah, you all right, so you got to get the case. The case is whatever. Honestly, I think it's stupid to build like a PC from the ground up. What I would tell people now, what I would tell them to do is get a pre-built with a decent processor. The processor is what you really want to be good, because it's a pain in the ass to swap a processor compared to swapping a graphics card or
Very true.
RAM sticks or your hard drive. If you get like, you know, if you get the right processor on the right motherboard, done. Everything else will fall into place. You know, so you get your case, you get your motherboard, you get your i9 processor, whatever. You swap out your 2070 GPU for like a fucking 3 series. You put in like fucking 64 gigs of RAM and boom, you got yourself like a fucking like tricked out fucking gaming machine. Honestly.
You got yourself a computer there.
Yeah, that shit. Oh yeah, and also like whatever storage needs you might have, you get a fucking solid state drive. Shit. Yo, are you interested in doing stand up?
No,
No?
not really.
Yeah, you're probably more of the writer type.
Yeah, I just don't want to be in front of people telling jokes to strangers,
Yeah, you're not into
and then
that?
feeling like, oh, like they didn't laugh. I should try to make different jokes that I might not find funny.
Yo,
I'm not saying I think I'm funnier than them. Just like I just don't want to. Why would I just try to be funny for other people that
Sure.
probably don't think same things are funny?
Yeah, it's its own thing. Honestly, it's definitely
Nothing's wrong with it. But I'm sorry.
I think it's psychologically damaging to do.
I think so, because you're trying to appease other people's interests.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not really like usually a lot of evolving or whatever and changing there. Like you're not like thinking like adding your bit to something. Like it's like, oh, I should, instead of being innovative, I'll just focus on the status quo is what everyone already thinks is funny.
Make fun of it or support it in a funny way. Yeah, I mean, you could always maybe you are more of the kind of writer type, a person who prefers and enjoys writing shit as opposed to acting it out and performing the bit.
Yeah, I would say so.
Skits. You know, it's funny you mentioned skits. Brendan also wanted to do skits, but I'm trying to like, in my opinion, it's like, you know, because I produced the podcast, so I know how the production for this. If you were to do skits, it's like a whole different ball game. It's not the same thing, because with podcasting you could rely on one camera angle consistently. That's even if you even want a video element, you could get by with just audio. But like to do the skits, you have to go full on like actual like film production. You have to.
I know that's why I wouldn't do anything, because it has to look.
I mean, I think like it's possible. I think, but I don't think like he has nearly enough resources. You need at least like,
true.
I mean, to do it with one camera, it's gonna make everything take so fucking long. You need at least like 2 cameras, I think. I mean, I'm not even a professional. I'm just going by like, you know, just from the logistics that I know about basic video editing. To do like skits properly, you'd want like 2 cameras, 3 cameras maybe, preferably, but 2. I think you could make it work with 2, because you know you're acting out like scripts, you're acting out like dialogue, and you need multiple angles like when that's going down. So you need one facing one person, the other one facing another person, and preferably you need a third and some cool angle while it's going down. And that's just step 1. That's just the video element. On top of that, what you need is consistent audio. If you're working with different multiple camera angles, you need one single audio. That's why they have those boom mics to like hang over, so that they could have multiple angles work off of one fucking the same consistent audio, which is off that hanging mic.
I went to this sketch that Farouk filmed with these people in the city, and so they like were just like, oh, like can you stand in front of the camera and like just make sure and turn it on when we say like start or whatever. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then they started asking me like, oh, like should I move like this? And I'm like, can I tell you what I think you should do or like what looks better here?
Mm-hmm.
They were like, yeah, okay. Then I just was like, oh, like move this out of frame, move that out of frame, do this. Like you're like kind of in the way here. And one person got mad at me.
Directing. You're doing too much directing, man. Stop directing so much. What are you, a director? Yeah, I think I'm definitely
One
more.
the guy after me forgot to do the audio part right, so I was the best director of the day.
Yeah, so I'm basically more. I got the producer's perspective usually when it comes to this sort of thing. So yeah, I see it. You know, I see in terms of a combination of like what resources you would need. You definitely need multiple cameras. You need an audio solution. Yeah, your audio solution could be where everyone's wearing like a hidden mic, a lapel mic.
Yeah.
You know, that's one solution. Or other people, like I think another common one is to have that consistent giant hanging boom mic, which is probably mad fucking expensive. I don't know how much these things fucking cost. I do know filmmaking is like really expensive. It's not a poor man's sport, you know, like.
No, yeah, I mean legit filmmaking, yeah.
But yeah, skits to me is like it's hard. It's a harder sell. It's a harder production. It's another level of production.
Yeah, I agree.
So like, and that takes time. And this is why like when people say it's like, yeah, I want to do skits, I'm like, dude, like, see if you could just pull off the podcast first. See if you could do that. You know, like get that element of basic video editing down, and then work your way out to skits. Like you got to like gather more resources and shit.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm totally down with that though. I would eventually like to get into that. But it's just like I said, it's a lot. It's some shit.
That's some shit.
Yeah. But simple video editing could suffice. I mean, all right. So if you really want to like get into what Farouk should do, honestly, Farouk should write an essay on something that he feels something like strongly about, that he could, you know, like say something like have a nice like nuanced personal take on it. And he has to make it fucking funny. And if you could make it funny, then you could edit it, and you could look over the writing, and then you could see what hits and what doesn't. Tell him to change certain things about it. Then all he has to do is just get on a mic, read it, but in a way that doesn't sound like he's reading it off of a piece of paper. Like tell him to just like, you know, just deliver it. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, right?
Yes, that would be like writing, producing, and directing something.
What you could do is like have him memorize the line, have him stand in front of a green screen. The green screen's the greatest thing ever. And then like while he's like talking, you could just film it and then have whatever playing in the background that's relevant to the shit. And then just have him like speaking into a microphone. And then what you do is you use like different like
directing.
You use different cuts of media to like edit whatever. He should try that. You know, he should see if he could pull that off. And then you could gain like a real following doing that shit. Like I
Absolutely.
On YouTube, I spend most of my time like watching those stupid fucking amateur internet journalists like things on video games and shit. Like retrospectives and analysis, like video essays.
So I do sometimes, yeah.
Video essays.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Yeah, I like those.
Yeah, so like I watch those. See if you could do a video essay. Some of them are fucking hilarious.
It's true. I agree. Some of them have such great production value.
What?
Some of them are so simple, but like it's a lot of care, a lot of time goes into
Well,
it.
then you got to consider what's really valuable about it.
Yeah, sure.
It's what's being said. It's the words. It's the actual composition. That is the value. You know, like if it's that simple, but it's just good, then it's just a well thought out, written piece, and that's really what you got to focus
It has
on.
to be well written, and well shown, and well spoken.
And to have that is to have like that kind of like, you got to be that kind of person who has like an insightful perspective on things. Do you think Farouk's like that? No. Look, the way I see it,
Farouk knows some shit. He can incite some.
Everyone's insightful about certain things. Like there was some things that he was insightful about, but I don't know if he's ever got the balls to like really run with it in like public speaking. Like he would say some shit like, "Listen, I know women, all right, better than women because I was raised by women. I grew up with X amount of sisters and mom and blah blah blah." And he would say that. I'm like, see, that was like, if you could sell that, you got to go with that, and that takes balls. And if If you're just like talking shit, you're gonna pay for that. You know, like, but you gotta like. I think you should run with things like that. You know, take those kinds of risks.
No, I agree 100%. Like that's what I was trying to do before, like trying to fit what other people already think is funny.
Gesundheit. God
unexpected.
bless you.
Thank you.
No, sneezing is always uncomfortable until after you sneeze and you're like, oh, I feel so much better.
I do.
Now that I sneezed.
Oh, I do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like it's. I feel like more people, like just to be yourself and like at least find like that's some realism, like you're drawing from your life and people can pick up on that. That's somewhere to go with something.
Yeah. Yeah, to make yourself at least vulnerable to some extent, to be able to like express something real and something nuanced and not just some cookie cutter bullshit or, you know, some regurgitated opinion that everyone fucking believes. Yeah, no, totally true.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, you know, you got to be careful though, because sometimes you'll just have like these you just have these freaks and it's like, it's hard to remember that they're just freaks and they're not any kind of genius or anything.
Nah, they're barely people.
Mm-hmm. Like the lol cows. You ever heard of Chris Chan?
No.
Oh, good for you. Good for you, man. Good for you. Jesus.
I feel like I shouldn't ask, and I'm not going to.
Oh, so when are you? You're going back to Florida, right?
Yeah.
Are you gonna come? And then how long are you gonna be out there again?
For like a week.
And then
and then I'm coming back for a week. Then I'm going back there for a little bit longer. I believe. I had to double check.
Damn. So your life for the rest of your life is just going to be going back and forth?
No. For the next like 2 months. Until he
Cool.
Yeah. But no, I mean like my life is basically for the most part like if there's something consistent in my life, it's that I do go back and forth between New York and Florida.
Why don't you just move out there for 2 months? You already work remotely.
Why I move out there for 2 months?
Yeah.
Then I'm paying for an apartment and living somewhere else. Like if I'm living with family or if I get a place, then I'm paying 2 rents. I don't think I'd like Florida. I don't like Florida.
You're just there because of obligation?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like some parts of Florida, but I don't really want to live there. I'd rather live here. And right now, my living situation is, I think, affordable for like what. Smoke too much. I'm getting a good deal.
All right. Yeah. So you're comfortable, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I like New York and Florida.
Yeah. You basically don't see the same amount of prestige living in Florida as you would living in New York.
It's a different class of people out there.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's Floridians. Like they're just different.
Oh, why? Because they enjoy like no fucking income tax or something, or no property tax.
Yeah, fuck them. Things just don't cost as much.
Very nice. Good for them.
Yeah, it's okay.
But you
they
just
have no souls.
I'm saying that's why I said for the next 2 months. I'm worried about I'm trying to help DK find a spot. He's got to find a new spot soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope he can. Because otherwise he's thinking about moving out of state, and I'm like, I don't want that.
But you want me to move out of state?
No, I know for you it'll be temporary. You know, like you could just move out there for 2 months and then come back. And if anything, you could have DK live in your spot now to hold it down and pay you rent.
It's true.
But that's not. I don't think that's like. I don't know. That's probably not the best idea. It's not.
That's not very legal.
What?
So I signed up to my landlord.
Is your apartment even legal?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Is it?
Legal? Yeah. It's a complete detached house. Yeah. It doesn't have its own mailing address, but I am in the side apartment. I have my own renter's insurance and electric and gas bill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I am legit.
Legit.
Oh yeah. There's a door and everything.
And a doorbell.
Yeah. And I drew an A on the door, so it's like 540A, and they're just 540.
Yeah. Woodrow is filled with houses with like side units like that. That's really what it was. It was just a big family house where like the older relative can live on the side house or something.
Yeah, but I mean, like, don't you think it makes sense too? Like, if you could buy a big enough house like that, you could also you have the space to either rent or give to somebody, so you make a little cash on the side.
Yeah, it's a very upper middle class thing to do, I think.
Oh no, yeah, it is
100%.
And you can very much control the class of people you rent to.
Yep.
and it's there's also no pressure to do it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like my landlord had been renting the place. I think he last like rented it to his son like from like 5 to 10 years before I got it.
Yeah.
And then I rented it, and like I'm sure he can't imagine like life without getting like that rent check every month. Like it's been sitting there for a while. Like I'm sure like he gets that. And he's like, all right, word. Actually, what he doesn't do it anymore. He used to do it.
Yeah. He used to do it.
Oh, he used to do it. What he used to do was because I write checks, so he would take he would hold on to my checks. I'd pay like April 1st, and I'd pay May's rent, and then like I'd give him June's rent, and like one time he deposited 3 checks for me at once. It's a lot of money, but yeah, he used to just deposit them like randomly, a couple at a time.
You know what I think we should do? I think we should.
So like I know he goes on sprees.
I think if I just
he's like, yo, I got a few G's like in my pocket.
If I just tap into some connections, maybe we could get a couple of girls. First of all, we set up like a nice little massage bed, in your bedroom. Like I could know some girls that could come in. Like we'll set them up. They'll give massages to nice men. We'll charge a fair price.
Of course we will.
Maybe some other stuff might go down other than massage.
Why would you even discuss the other thing? What do you mean?
I mean, look, I'm just saying.
Well,
extra services.
Like you said, we'll have to hire a few women to do it. Hire a manager. We'll sort everything out. We can't be there every day.
No.
We don't know what's going on every day.
We got CCTV set up.
Yeah, where by the register.
Yeah. We'll set up a external Cash App account. We'll take Bitcoin.
Just no checks. No checks. No credit cards.
Yeah. No checks. No credit cards.
No.
You can't process that.
No, it's the technology in credit cards actually melts from all the fumes in the massage parlors.
So it just doesn't work.
You're right. Yeah. It doesn't work. It's hard to then take back to other countries.
You know what? Thanks to Venmo, we're able to now do like a lot of sketchy transactions with credit card. Like you could actually.
They're sketchy, but now they're like it's.
It's so much easier to buy drugs with your credit card because you could just be like, oh, you got Venmo? It's like, yeah, bro. It's like here's cocaine and here's my credit card.
But it's more fair because like when you do taxes, it's like where'd this money go? It's like.
It's right there.
If anything, like.
Well, it's also like, I mean, I don't think they really scrutinize like credit card purchases like that. Like, it's mostly bank account transactions.
Who scrutinizes it? The IRS?
Yeah, when it comes to like filing your taxes.
Oh no, because the bank.
It's on you to actually like categorize your purchases, really, so you could write things off.
Exactly. So like that's why doing taxes used to be like way more complicated.
Yeah.
Like people have to like
save the receipts.
If you wrote a check, you'd have to write a slip on what you wrote the check for, when you wrote it, and then like a slip when you deposit that check or when that other person deposited it, and then you save all that shit and then you send it to your tax man and he does it for you.
Yeah. I mean,
you gotta keep receipts.
What?
Keep receipts.
Yeah, I look at people who keep receipts. I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? Like, what the hell are you doing? Use a fucking debit card or some shit. Yeah, I really don't carry cash. You're just terrible. You gotta carry cash.
I know, because I like it. I'd like it being able to split up and like know. It's like dividing my finances. Cash for sketchier things, and credit card for nice, clean, itemized stuff.
Yeah, like bills.
Yeah, like he pays his bills. Doesn't seem to spend his money frivolously that we're aware of.
Yeah,
we don't know where it went.
Yeah, no, it's true. I do spend. I do use the cash for sketchier shit like drugs. Most of the time. Sometimes I really would use Venmo and I don't give a shit. I'm just like, whatever.
Could you imagine getting like the auditor and the IRS is like, so we found your transactions from Venmo. How do you explain like this one here? It says for drugs.
Yo, I really do that though.
Oh yeah, but you'd be like, I do it all the time. But it'd be like, well, it's for drugs. I wrote it 10 times. It must be for drugs. And like
I see, even with this one has a little snowman emoji. That's drugs.
That's drugs. No, it'd be like a whole like expose, like you exposing what everyone else does on Venmo. Snowman, that's drugs. Is it a white girl on it skiing? It's drugs.
The nail polish emoji? Drugs. It's all drugs, all right? You best believe. And with that, I'd say we about covered our time. Thank you for joining me for another exciting installment.
Yes, exciting.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.